Well, hello and welcome to Together Forward's YouTube channel. I'm Annette Blankenship. For the past few weeks, we've been talking about the six-part strategic management system that we use here at Together Forward called StratOp. And last week, we talked about action. If you missed the last few episodes, check out the links below to get caught up. And in this week's video, we're going to dive into step 4, structure, where we're going to talk about designing for your organization structure to best facilitate your plan so you can get to where you want to be. We talked last week about action. The action phase is all about prioritizing our initiative based on the collective perception of what's important. And we, have set up our team for success by laying out their goals, their budget, their timeline, and the value of getting those strategic projects done. We've trained our next level leaders to actually run those initiatives, starting with the same way the leadership team did by getting the collective perception of perspective in the room. And doing that before we're able to just jump into planning, we want to make sure that cross-functionally, that next level down can really be able to understand what it is that we're doing and collectively come to a consensus. We've also communicated with our team and have started these projects, and we're having recurring update meetings to track our progress. And so now we're ready to dive into what does our structure, the structure of our organization look like. Just like the foundation of your house supports your home, the organizational design can facilitate your plan, or it can create your organization to feel stuck in the mud or like a knife through butter, run through it very quickly, right? Sometimes organizations try to reorganize prematurely, thinking that it will solve their problems. However, without the understanding of exactly what your organization needs, restructuring prematurely can have detrimental impacts. The form must follow the function, and that's a principle of architecture and industrial design, and it works in the case of organizational design too. It says that there we go. It says that the shape of a building should primarily relate to its intended function or purpose. The form is related to the structure, the architecture of something. And then the function is the product of that structure, which plays a specific role. In other words, we should create our organizational charts based on the purpose and needs of the organization. Sometimes they're based on who we want to have report to us or what makes sense to us. And all of those things just sometimes perpetuate whatever pain points are going on to the organization. But if we set up a structure that follows the substance of the plan, where we know exactly where we're going, as we defined in the planning phase, and exactly what's important that we defined in the action stage, and then we define our structure, then that makes the whole workflow just flow more easily through an organization. In the structure phase, there's 4 components. Number 1 is the organizational design. Being able to start with that core plan and which the company's plan on a page that I showed you last week. And we're clear on our mission, our vision, our core strategies, our customer focus. Otherwise, like I said earlier, it's going to create confusion and red tape that doesn't need to be there. So if we know what functions we need or what work that needs to get done, and starting with that functional design of what's needed in the organization without putting names in the boxes, that's going to help you identify those core needs of the organization. And this is key to making sure that those that work flows properly through your organization. Incorporating the principles of healthy design, that's going to help us prevent those red tape issues. The organizational design is just going to make logical sense to everyone. And it's not going to be about political agendas. It won't be about nepotism or favoritism. When we create the right structure before populating it with people, we can see that some of those roles are missing and it can't be filled with the current talent. Like it becomes very clear of what it is that we need. Then we know who we need to hire, and we can prioritize those gaps in our hiring plans. Okay, number 2 is culture. Culture is how we live and relate to each other as an organization. The culture is defined by our core values, but that just because we define core values doesn't mean that we're always living by those core values. And if our core values don't align with how we operate, then hopefully that was something that was figured out in that perspective phase, and we'll need to align them through intentional action initiatives. And being able to figure that out based on not only on that core plan, but what's important now is what is very important, because if your culture is out of whack, that needs to be on top of what your and what's important list. Now, culture eats strategy for breakfast. And if you've ever been in a culture that wasn't healthy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So you can, improve your culture by operationalizing your core values through performance reviews and through the hiring process. Now, speaking of process, that leads me to number 3, which is through systems and processes. That's another core component of our structure. So how do we operate with systems and process, and really being able to understand what that looks like in our organization? All of our work gets done through a process. A good process is going to produce good work. A good process is both effective and efficient, and there's a difference. Effective means that we are successfully producing an intended result. Efficient means that we're achieving maximum productivity with minimum wasted effort or expense. When we implement good systems and processes across our organization, we have a repeatable process that allows us to do this over and over and over again. And when we have the right systems and processes and can implement them fast, then we can scale our growth exponentially, because we can handle whatever it is that is being thrown at us successfully and at the least amount of cost and time. Now, number 4 is people development. Any organization is only as good as the people who work there. So you want to make sure you've got the right people in the right seats. Now, Jim Collin talks about this in his book, Good to Great. And this means that the right people have the right attitude, the right motivation, and the right inner drive to produce those best results. Those people care about what you care about as the visionary leader in your organization. And if you have the right people in the right seats, good documented systems and processes and right people, you're going to outperform your competition every time, because that's really hard to duplicate. So getting the right people hired and on your team starts with your core values, and making sure that the values of the people that you've hired already reflect the values of the company. You can train people on processes. You can even teach people skills, but core values run deep to the innermost part of who people are. So the outcome of this phase, when we incorporate all these principles, is that we're fast and we're flat. Our decisions can be made quickly and easily, and we serve the customers fast because our teams are empowered to meet the organization's goals. And when led by the right leaders with the right mindsets, with a focus on executing the work towards the core plan and its values, it gives us a solid foundation and structure that allows for that expansive space for our companies to grow to heights that we thought we could only dream of. And now, our next step is to manage our progress, but more on that next week. Well, I hope this helps you to think about your own strategic management system and understand the processes involved to getting you there, so you can turn your vision into reality. Now, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that like button. Every like helps us to reach new people. And if you want to see new videos on leadership, strategy, and project management to help you with your business or career every week, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Also, please let us know what your top leadership, strategy, and project management challenges are, so that we can make some new videos in the future with your feedback. Thank you for watching. I'm Annette Blankenship, and I'll see you in the next video.